Okay guys, here we are on week number 2. As promised, we're going to take a look at some equipment changes that I've made. One very specifically. Let's go take a quick look at it here. That is a Trailblazer on the advice of everyone's favorite two-hander, Mikey Pinnell. We went with a short pin layout on a Trailblazer. One of the most important things about choosing the ball that you're going to use your short pin in is that you want to make sure that your intermediate differential to differential ratio is at least 2-to-1. So if you've got a ball that's got like an 050 diff, it's got to have like an 020 to 025 intermediate diff. Otherwise, if it gets too out of whack, it becomes too round. It defeats the purpose. Well, that Trailblazer, talking to Mikey, he said is perfect for it. So we laid it out. Already warmed up. You can see a little bit of oil on it, and it looks mighty nice. I've actually been able to move right for the first time in our 7 games of two-handed bowling. So this is our 8th game. We're going to be able to play a little bit more up the lane rather than hooking it all the time. The goal this week is still the same. Every game over 140. We've managed to do that so far. We had a couple of 200s last week during our practice session on the Wednesday league. So we're hoping to get a couple of 200s this week. And let's go get them. Okay, we just finished game 1. A little bit of an oops in the 10th frame. That's a pretty good game. To that point, the equipment's okay. Maybe a little bit of an oops at all. That's experience. But back there, we're still over 180 for the day, which is good. So we're going to move on to game 2. I think we're going to make a ball change. One of the things I noticed was the pin was starting to get a little weak, and I think that's because of some of the cover stocks are being played in the area that I'm in. So I think we might ball up, might try balling up. We'll see. And because I left a lot of 9 count, a lot of 10 pins that I had to spend. It just wasn't quite getting. So we're going to try something different for game 2, and we'll go from there. Okay, ended that one at 172, I think it was, 172, 174. Yeah, I was managed to salvage it a little bit, but it's not striking very good. I'm not projecting it. It's really easy to hit. You're just trying to hit it. Forget you got to project it targets on that. And you get short and start getting revolutions without distance, so you start to pick up on it, rather than hitting it forward, letting it spin and roll. So I just gotta be mindful of that. The second half of the game is much better. So going on to game 3. So far, we're still all over 140. We're doing good. I think our new target, if this keeps up, is going to have to be over 170. 170. Definitely making some headway here. Let's see what we can do. Game 3. Okay, just real quick, I was just went back and looked at the video, and I noticed that my arm, my push away, just moving right, it's creating a little bit of a speed. That's why it is missing inside all the time. I tried to push it in a little bit. Remember, ring finger like I was in the first game, and the ball definitely looked better. So we're gonna give that. Can't get much worse. Missed 2 significant spares. I shouldn't really be getting on myself. That game 10 thing, I haven't had really much practice, which is something I got to get out here. Okay, that was the end of that. Ended with a triple to shoot 179. I opened at 9 and the 7. Really have to work on my spares. I'm very unconfident shooting my spares, so I gotta commit to them more. I gotta work on it. Very surprised. I made a move over the melee jab a little later because all of a sudden the Zenith stuck in really early. Which, I mean, it's got a surface on it, so that should happen. I made the move to the melee, and it seemed to be the ball. So maybe we're just throwing it at the wrong time. That happens. We gotta work from here. We shot 6. Ooh, earns. So that's like 160 something average. First game under 140. That kind of sucked. But we gotta keep working at it. Gotta keep pushing through. I still feel like there's an equipment change to be made there. I'm not happy with all my reactions yet, but I'm not throwing the ball well enough yet, I think, to make a lot of changes. I'm still really inconsistent with my arm swing, so I have to focus on making sure my arm swing is in the right spot. That little shift back, getting my weight back, has made a big difference. I feel like I'm getting the ball down on the lane a little bit better. And the score, it felt like I was back to what I was shooting in the first game. So we're gonna roll on from here. Not the best week, not the worst week. That's how things go when you're making these big changes. You can't expect to step out, no matter how good a bowler, no matter how good. You can't expect to step on the lanes and do something new and excel at it. It's going to take time. Yeah, I shot a 200 in my 5th game. That's great. I also shot a 120, whatever, in 125, I think, or whatever it was. That's not the way how we get things done. Through another game practice after my last video clip. After I tripled to finish, and then I went out and I was looking and I was watching video and doing some practice, and I realized I really kind of honed in on my left foot, because I'll be honest, my left butt cheek hurts. It's sore, and that shouldn't happen when you're bowling because you're moving forward. And the way it hurt was when my leg went sideways, and it made me realize that I wasn't controlling my slide leg. My slide leg was going all over the place. It was everywhere, and that meant a couple of things. That meant that my timing was off, my ball was away from my body, so I was trying to compensate. There was a whole bunch of stuff going on. Even though I tripled to finish the game, I just wasn't happy, and I think I am now. I think I was just I mean, I know I was rushing the line. I know I was getting my shoulders forward, but I also wasn't extending my elbow as much as I could. I was getting through my shot, and I was using a lot of my right arm rather than trying to use as little energy in my right arm until my release as possible. And because of that, I was muscling it. My shoulder was moving, my elbow was chickening out. And I mean, you can see that a couple times when I was taking shots. I was like, yeah, my arm's coming out. I'm chicken winging. I'm getting around it. As soon as I realized that, I threw some shots, really trying to control my slide foot, making sure. And it's not so much controlling it, but just that is the symptom and looking back at the cause. So focusing on what was causing it, and the shots just came. Everything became more straight. I stopped spinning the ball, coming around it. I felt like I was more in timing. So we're gonna practice that later in the week. Right now my butt hurts. It's such a silly thing to say, but my left butt cheek hurts so much. All those people who don't bowl often, they complain about their back hurting, their legs hurting, and their butt hurting. And my butt hurts. I think I have slid one way I've changed elements of my shot, but pretty much I've slid in the same direction for the better part of 30 years, So it's not something I've thought about before, and now I can focus on it. I can focus on the cause, making sure I get better extension on the ball and not trying to muscle the ball, and sliding forward, go figure. I can focus on that, and that's going to be a good indicator for me. I know that now if I feel something in my left butt cheek, my slide foot butt cheek, that I know what I'm doing wrong now. And it's funny, because we can watch videos, we can study everything, but until we're out there doing it, it's those little things that they don't talk about that are the real clues that help us get into where we should be. I mean, you can read all of the best stuff you can and watch the best videos, but until you are physically doing it and understanding, hey, I'm trying to do this, but I'm really doing this. What's causing that? You can't really fully appreciate what you're doing. That's why I tell people to get on the lanes. You want to try something? Get out on the lanes and give it a try. See what you can do. So yeah, I'm gonna look at some equipment. I'm surprisingly happy now. Now that I've kind of looked at what I've got, the short pin I really needed, I think that's actually going to be a later game ball than an earlier game ball for me, because this is short pin less hook from the PAL layout system. And it was good. It was really controllable. I was able to keep it in front of me really well. So we're just going to try a few things. The equipment isn't going to make up for operator error, but when the operator starts operating better, it'll give me a better idea of what I'm looking at. Extremely happy. The more I understand it, where I need to throw it, really happy with that melee. The melee jab blue. I love my carbon. I wasn't a fan of the blue before. As a two-hander, though, I'm much happier with it. I guess it needs tilt, because having a little bit of tilt on that ball, really changed the reaction on it. It's much longer, much stronger off the back of the pattern. Yeah, so maybe we'll switch out that Zenith for something a little stronger. And everything else I think went really well. Yeah, I'm very happy with this. So I guess time to rest my butt. Yeah, time to rest my tired old butt. And we'll come back and practice during the week. Once we get through that, we'll wrap things up and get things ready for week 3. Good morning, everybody. Here we are, day after league. I am sore today. Big weather change, that messes with my fiber a little bit, but more than that, my butt cheek still hurts. Definitely, the more I thought about it, the more I looked at video, the more my slide leg was out of control. So I was sliding all over the place. You know what? We live and learn. It affected scores. We learned a whole bunch yesterday. Today, we are here in the shop. You can see I've got a couple of balls I'm working on. You can see here I have filled my Rattler. We're going to re-drill that because we don't have a benchmark ball. We also have a 3D offset and an intuition. Morning protein. So we have version 1 of our drill sheet. Oh my goodness, it is so morning. And we know that this has changed. This has become a 1 1/32 and a 7/8 on that hole now. Everything else has changed. Our pap has stayed the same. Our pitches have not changed. You can see that my finger is healing. No new blistering when we bowled yesterday, so I think it was just because I bowled like 8 or 10 games the first time we went out bowling. We bowled league, and then I did a little bit of practice. but also I'd done a whole bunch of messing around, trying to find my pap and everything. And my hand wasn't used to it, so that's probably why I got my blister. You can see I've got a couple of things on the bench here before we get into talking about equipment. I talked a little bit about that sheet. I almost want to call it a paper that Gary Faulkner put out. And you can see here, it's Gary Faulkner, the Bowler's Edge Pro Shop. But I really want him to get some credit for this. I really like what he's done here. There's our man Mo. He's taken the work that Mo and Mikey have done, and he's really expanded upon it. You can see he's taken the no thumb layout sheet that Mikey came out with, and he's kind of broken it down based on your pap, depending on if you're a positive or negative pap. And each type of reaction, he's broken it down to a dual angle that changes based on where your pap is, so that you get the proper ball dynamics, the proper core placement based on your pap and the way you throw the ball, your personal bowling characteristics. But more than that, check this out. He's actually taken the time to map out, based on each pap, what the flare should look like when you throw the ball. Now, this is me here because I am a 1 1/8 negative. This is the one that shows up for me, and every ball that I've drilled that has a similar layout, I've gotten this flare pattern. So we know that this is, yes, this has been done in blueprint, so we should believe that this is correct, but we have direct correlation when I've thrown the ball, that I get exactly the flare pattern that I'm expecting to see when I use these layouts. So it's really cool. So it's got a few for the different kind of rolls here. Next up, stake. This is my Arsenal construction sheet. You can see here I've just gone through a few things. I've started filling in a few things. Purple Hammer, my Polaris, and Melee Jab, the Zenith, with a few different layouts. It just allows me, well, not a few different layouts, but the layout on each ball. It just allows me to visualize what I've got in my bag. Then I can kind of think about the reactions that I've seen, what I've liked, what I haven't liked. And you can see here I put down, like, you know, my Trailblazer's been perfect for what I've wanted. I wanted a short pin, does exactly what I want. My Purple Hammer, always too strong. For some reason on the house shot here, at 4 3/4 by 4 by 3.5, aka 45 by 4 3/4 by 35. That ball just, it is the strongest ball in my bag, and it's almost unthrowable for me. So we gotta fix that. We gotta fix that spot. You can see here there's other ones. You know, perfect. I love my Stellar. My Zenith, I find it a little smooth. My Melee Jab, it's exactly what I need in late hook. You can see I have it listed in ball up here, but I've put late hook, so I know it's in the wrong spot. It needs to be down here. So I need something better here. I don't have a medium ball yet. That's what my Rattler we're looking at. Our benchmark ball. I have kind of something for the long, the Polaris. It is very early and smooth. I like that reaction. So it kind of gives me an idea. I can look at where I have a hole in my arsenal, what I've liked, what I haven't liked, so I can start looking at equipment to fill what I need. Obviously from this week, maybe I need a new spare ball, or at least learn how to throw them. We can see here I've got written down my tilt, my rotation. These are just rough estimates. They don't have to be exact. You can see my speed is low, my rev rate's high. I'm a rev dominant bowler like most two-handers. Got my pat. What I need, so I need a benchmark, I need a hybrid, I need a new Purple Hammer, I need a new pink urethane, because I'd like to do a short pin one of those. I'd really like to get a sneak attack, because I really love those for the burn. And you can see I don't have anything in my burn slot right now, but I don't want to re-drill my one-handed sneak attack, because I really like it, and it has already been re-drilled once, so I don't want to mess with it. And the stuff that I've got undrilled, I've got a few things that I can play with to drill up. And then of course I've written down my version 2 of my drill sheet. You see we've updated it there, but we have it here on the sheet just so I've got everything in one spot. So we need something. We learned this week we needed something that was smooth, that was slightly early but not super early. If you look at how we did, I didn't throw the Polaris at all because I knew it was going to be way too early. Purple was too early. Even my Stellar was really early and hooked a lot. When I threw my Jab, which is a pretty fast response ball. I mean, it is at 4,000. I haven't written it on there. It's at 4,000 plus polish. It's pretty fast response, but it's got some length on it. It was still, you know, hooking the entire lane. Even when I was staying under it, when I wasn't spinning it, it was still just a really, really strong ball. So I needed something that is going to be a little more controllable, kind of on the lower end of things, and that's, I think, where our Rattler is going to come in here. So we need to find ourselves a benchmark layout. We need to put it on here, get it drilled up. The other thing, as we said, that Zenith, I kind of liked it yesterday. When I was sewing it, I definitely understood it better, but I liked the jab more. And I think maybe I'm going to try maybe drilling up. You can see here I've got a different layout on this 3D offset. It is, oh, I scratched it out there, 80 by 4.5 by 55. It's got a fair amount of length. Strong pin to pap distance. At 4.5, it's going to be very, very strong flaring. At 55, it's not going to be jump off the lane quick like the melee jab is, but that's not really what we want for this ball. We want this ball to be really angular, something that we can put a little bit of surface on, and when we need to open the lane when there's still oil on the lane, it's going to have enough surface to get it into a roll and to see the friction down lane, but not so much surface that it's just jumping as soon as it sees it. This would be similar to right now in my one-handed bag, my Black Widow 2.0. As I said, it's something that I need. I would like to get a hybrid in the bag, and this is going to be kind of a test for us, because this is being a pearl. It's a pearl with surface, similar to a hybrid. So it's going to give us a little bit of a test to see if we need more. Which we would go to a full hybrid like the Defender or the Black Widow, or if it's going to be enough to give us a separation between it and the melee jab. So we've got some experimentation to do. Everything else I'm actually really happy with. I'm not going to drill up my intuition. You can see I filled it. I feel pretty good about the fill on that one. That's pretty decent, and that's pretty decent. You can see I've marked out the mass bias there, just a little hole I drilled. I'm going to put some marker thing. What is it? Paint stick. Yeah, that thing. Oh, my goodness. My brain is turned off today. I'm going to put some paint stick in there so that I can mark it off, just so it looks all nice. But yeah, we got to get to work. I think the only thing we really need to do is maybe this one and this one. But yeah, we're going to kind of get to work on that. We got to find a layout for this thing. We got to find something that we're going to like. I've always loved my bonus, but this is laid out for two hands, or for one hand. I need something that's going to be laid out for two hands. It's going to give me this reaction, this. So I got to do some thinking and figure this out. When we come back, maybe I'll have more answers. Okay, we are back. Here we are. It took me a few minutes. I had to try a few things out. But it looks like we are going with kind of a modified control layout. So we've gone with 80 degrees on our drill angle. Yes, this is symmetrical. It doesn't really matter. However, being re-drilled, and when we spun it, we figured out where our PSA was. We did want to make sure that we were using our drill angle just in case. Because we wanted to make sure we get the proper ball roll we want, being that it's slightly asymmetrical, being filled and drilled. We went with a 5.5 inch pin to pap. So this is going to be fairly long. It's going to flare farther down lane. It's not going to be a max flare because this is, it's actually going to be kind of different. It is going to be larger flare than a symmetrical should be, being that it is slightly asymmetrical now, being re-drilled, blah blah blah. If this was a symmetrical, the 5.5 would be smaller flare on it, because larger pins on a symmetrical ball bring the flare back down, but it also pushes the motion down lane. We're hoping that this hasn't become too asymmetrical, so it should do that. But you know, knock on wood, just in case. And we've gone with a 65 degree val angle. This means it is not going to be very fast response when it sees friction down lane. It's not going to want to spin up really early. So it's going to be really smooth. It's not going to be really over responsive to the friction. It's going to be control. If you look back at the sheet here, we kind of went, instead of with a 1 inch up, which is the control layout, we had to go with a 1.5 inch up, so it's almost into the kind of roll we'd get at a heavy roll. Now if you look this last number here, it tends to, if you look what it does, the higher the pin is above the center line, just the more flare, the faster response as well, the layout it becomes more angular. We really wanted to get it towards that 1 inch, but if you look here, this is where the 1 inch was. And it would have ended up, when we drilled it, it would have put our fingers just too close to that pin and too close to where we filled these fingers in. It was going to put it into a high danger zone for cracking. So we moved it back a 1/2 inch here. It's going to give us a full inch between the top of our finger and our pin. It's just going to give us a little bit more borrowed time with this ball. So we wanted to get the most out of it. I don't think it's going to affect the roll that much. We are still pretty controlled, very, very heavy rolling ball. And that's what we want out of this. We don't have that in our bag because we need more hook than our short pin, but less angularity than things like our Stellar. So I think this is going to be the baby there, and I think we're definitely going to go with this layout. I know that it's close to here, and I got a feeling it's going to crack eventually, but we've drilled a few like these where the fingers are really close, expecting them to crack in time, but we have other new equipment that we can replace them with. This is all testing. One of the benefits, this is why I love reconditioned equipment. When you're doing testing, when you're trying to do a new fit or changing styles or things like that, these reconditioned bowling balls, like I sell mine for $50 in my shop. These ones here happen to be my staff ones, so I can't sell these ones, so it makes it even better for me. Because really, like, I have walls and walls and walls of staff balls that I can't do anything with once I've tested them if they're not in my bag. Now I can re-drill these and, test out all this stuff that I'm doing. For those of you who don't have all these staff balls, that's the point I was trying to get to. You can go to your local pro shop. I'm sure other shops do this, where they have, $50, $60 plug balls, and you can try out all these things. Yeah, they might crack in 6 months. It might happen, but it's a lot better than spending $200 or $300 on a ball to try one small thing that you may end up not liking. So the ball just sits there and it's going to get filled and re-drilled anyway. So why not save the money? You could buy, 3 or 4 reconditioned balls from your local shop for the price of a new one and try out a whole bunch of different things. So that's just me. So that's what we're doing here. I mean, everything that we've drilled so far for this test has been reconditioned. Everything that's been staff balls that I've had sitting on my wall, we've filled, reconditioned. We've used the clear on some of them from CTD to make these cover stocks as close to new as possible. We've put new surface on them with our CTD pads. Nothing like some True Cut to put some surface on. We want these to be good so that we can make decisions down the road. In 6 months, if I decide I don't want to do this way anymore, or I've healed enough that I want to go back to one-handed, I don't want to drill a lot of stuff that's just going to be garbage, But if I'm making a effort to make this a long-term change, some of this stuff is going to have to get replaced. So I don't know, it's going to be some interesting decisions that come along over the next 6 months. I'm glad you guys are along for the ride. It's going to be fun. I know some of you are trying to make the decision if you want to go two-handed, and you're seeing exactly what I'm going through when I'm doing this. So let's get this on the press. We'll put some holes in it. I'm not going to practice today. Probably the next time you'll see me after I put holes in this will probably be Tuesday or Wednesday. It'll be practice. We'll just end the video with some practice and stuff. We'll get a chance to try this out and see what we think. And yeah, that'll probably be the end of this week's episode. And then next week we'll really dive in. We'll see what we're doing. We'll take some good video at League on Sunday. That's how we'll start the episode, and then we'll see kind of what we're working with, what I gotta really practice on. We'll put together a training plan of what I need to do to get better as a two-hander. I'll share it with you guys. I'll show you what I'm doing, and we'll go from there. We'll see actually if I can figure out how to do this crazy two-handed style. So as I said, let's put this on the press, make some dust, and then we'll go down to the lanes with the magic of television. Once this is done, I'll be down in the lanes, but it'll be 24 to 48 hours later. So let's go, kids. Diddle-oo, 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 diddle-oo. I'm such a weirdo. Okay, here we are, guys. It's Wednesday night. It's League. We got warmed up already. Definitely, from what we've seen already, we've made some changes to our bag. Definitely that Rattler. You're going to see a lot of that tonight. Went with the control-ish layout on it. Really happy with what I'm seeing already. The 3D offset is very strong. I really like what I saw with the angular layout on that. Hopefully we'll see that a little bit later. But I'm thinking that 3D offset is probably going to replace the Zenith. It's just a little bit different shape than the Melee 10 Blue. But we're getting up for the first shot of League tonight. Let's see if we can not make a fool of ourselves.
Not make a fool of ourselves. Not make a fool of ourselves.
Okay, so one of the two of those shots was good. The first one was the second one was really got to remember the ring finger keep form. I can stay behind it. And I got to stop trying to do something with it. It's not going to be easy tonight. These guys are really good teamwork. Really talented bowlers. Really good bowlers. I'm getting handicapped based on my pre-injury average. This is going to probably be a big. So I feel bad for my team. You know, that's what happens in this game. Hopefully we can keep with it a little bit and see if Okay, we're going into the 10th frame, first game. It's going pretty well. So we got 175 on a strike going into the 10th. So far the practice changes I made have been pretty good. The new equipment, the Rattler's been amazing. Really like the layout that I put on it, like the reaction I'm getting out of it. So yeah, so once again, PAL system over 2LS system. That's a 1-0 for PAL. I mean, the Rattler, I liked the Rattler before. Now, as a two-hander, it's giving me a lot smoother reaction than I was getting out of my other stuff. That's something I can really control. So I guess we're going to have to finish this game off now. See if we can get another deuce, keep ourselves on track. See if we can get our first 600 for 3. Ooh. All right, let's take it to the lanes. Alright, so we're into the third frame of the second game.
To not make a fool of ourselves.
The end of the last game, I made it jump left. I think 5 was done left. But I'm noticing that we're really... Well, I had one bad shot. But other than that, I've noticed they've really started coming towards me. Started hooking me. I know I'm not staying behind the ball as much as I should. I want to, but you gotta play with what you're doing. So I'm gonna try making a move here. I'm gonna try moving to the melee jab. That's when we got a 4,000. Just trying to get a little bit more length out of it before it gets down lane, because there's definitely a defined down lane. All we gotta do is hit the ball there, and hopefully it's the right choice. Otherwise, we might go to the Stellar to see if it gets down lane farther. We're gonna go from our choices. For the opposite, I think it's gonna be way Alright, let's give this a try here.
To not make a fool of ourselves.
Okay, this game's going really poorly. 7th frame, 71. We got a lot of work to do. 8, 9, 10. We gotta get 70 pins in 3 frames. It's gonna be hard. So tonight, in this game, my spares have been bleeding out. A lot of wide open stuff. Not throwing very confidently. Game 1, I was really confident with it. Game 2 here, I'm just struggling with it. One thing I did figure out, the Rattler was really good. Coming off the Rattler, I tried to go into the melee jab. It was too fast down lane for tonight's so it's just too much down lane. So when it hits it, it's overhooking. When it misses it, it's Hey! Mark! Well, there we go. At least somebody got me. Jeez! It was coming off. It was just over under. It was working out. So I grabbed my short pin less hook, and yeah, I just threw it last shot. It was perfect in the pocket. Really happy with it looked. Of course, I missed the spare. I need to work on my backup ball from the 10 pins. I'm still very throwing it, so I have to figure that out. But let's go give this another try. Definitely the lowest game I've thrown all week. That's what it is. I gotta keep working. You can't be afraid. Hey, look, I already feel like an idiot. You can't be afraid. The only way to get better is to be a champ. And just like that, I doubled open a game in 3. I made a body positioning change. I think I had it too high, so that
Jimmy's got the camera.
so when I was coming through it, as I was doing something shot, I think I was trying to get into the car. Both the last 2 shots in the pocket. So I guess with the third try, with a double, I think I already beat my last game. That's just a lesson for you. You can't give up. Analyze what's going on. I looked at my ball roll, looked at what I was doing. What my body was telling me, analyze it, figure out what you're doing, and go back at it. See if you can keep us going. All right, we went for that one. That wasn't too bad for that spare shot. It was pretty close. We got to 205. That's 2 deuces at least. We won't talk about the game in the middle. Won't talk. We won't. Yeah. I'm like the double century award. All right. But I think we figured out what was going on wrong there. I think that felt much better. So I got a little bit more confidence going into this week. I'm happy with the equipment that we drilled this week. I'm happy with the practice that we've done. I think it's a great place to finish this week. We'll take a couple of days off. We'll rest up. We'll get ready for Sunday and next week of shows. Maybe if we're lucky, we can find somebody to give us a hand with our bowling. Just find a coach out there along the way. I wonder who I might know who throws two-handed. We'll find out. But until next time, guys, we'll see you laneside.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a show. So until next time, guys, we'll see you laneside.